Two young single people meet by booking the same Airbnb on the same date, the duffers. Things are awkward and tense until the potential for romance starts to blossom, but not before they discover a hidden door in the basement. If this sounds like the perfect rom-com farcical to take your mum to, it is, because mums will get a kick out of this story of love and nurturing in Barbarian. Hello there, you loose units, and welcome back to another episode of Spicy Boy Reviews. I'm, of course, your host, Andrew Iles. That's right, Barbarian, directed by Zach Cregers, who is also an actor, and directed a sex comedy by the name of Miss March and a historical comedy called The Civil War on Drugs. We meet our protagonist, the Little Mermaid, Tess, who arrives into a shitty neighbourhood to stay the night at an Airbnb she's previously booked because she's in town for a job interview. But the farcical rom-com begins when Pennywise answers the door, and lo and behold, he's in fact booked this Airbnb on another website. Of course, conveniently enough, the people who have double booked this Airbnb are not answering the phone. So these two decide to bunk into it together and start a potential love story. They begin to get to know one another with some cringe and awkward interactions, but there still seems to be a sense of unease under everything. After some creepy shit happens in the house while these two are asleep, the next morning, Tess wakes up to go to a job interview and gets a real good look at how shit this neighbourhood actually is. It's totally abandoned, dilapidated properties, graffiti everywhere, remnants of burnt down houses. A neighbourhood that real estate agents would say has potential, or a renovator's dream. So it's pretty much Shepparton. She goes to her job interview, which seems to go pretty well, and then goes back to the Airbnb, where she is chased down by an obvious homeless man who is shouting something belligerent at her. She judges a book by its cover, slams the door behind her, locks it, and bunkers down. She, of course, calls the cops, but they're not rocking up, they don't give two shits. So she decides to spend her evening by exploring the house. And wouldn't you know it, she discovers a hidden door in the basement. Pennywise, of course, shows up as well to get involved, which can only go well. We then get a glimpse of a creature who looked like it walked off the set of Wrong Turn. Then, boom, we cut to sunny LA where we're introduced to Justin Long's character, and he's in a bit of hot water. He seems to be caught up in a #MeToo scandal. He needs as much money as possible to go into these lawsuits that are coming up, so he decides to go to Detroit to sell a property that he owns. And wouldn't you know it, it happens to be the same Airbnb. He also discovers the hidden door in the basement that he had no idea was there, and discovers creepy hallways that run not only underneath his Airbnb property, but also underneath this shitty, dilapidated neighbourhood. It runs for miles and miles and miles. He also then runs into Tess and the Mongoloid from The Hills Have Eyes. And this creature is absolutely adamant about giving them some mother's milk. This is where the movie goes stomach-churningly gross and very icky. We also then get another flashback as well to see the origins of the house, slash Airbnb, as well as the dilapidated neighbourhood, and some Joseph Fritzl dungeons. It then turns into a survival for Justin Long's character and Tess to outrun this creature and survive the night. This film is excellently made, beautifully shot, super tense, using all kinds of different techniques on screen all at the once, and it's done really bloody well. Bill Skarsgård is also really good in this. I think he was an executive producer on this movie as well. He does a good job with these awkward mannerisms and such, but his casting is perfect because it throws off the scent for the audience of who is his character and where is it going? Because of course, knowing Bill Skarsgård, we expect him to be the big bad, especially with his awkward mannerisms. This guy is a bit unhinged. But nope, the film throws us a curveball again. Great to cast Bill Skarsgård for this. Georgina Campbell is, of course, awesome in this. She's the lead of the film, and she's perfect as our final girl. Of course, she gets the usual infuriating plea for help that, of course, falls on deaf ears. But the real MVP of this film is Justin Long. He's playing a very laid character here who's obviously a narcissist and not a very nice guy. But the movie stays with him as a POV character for the second half of the film, and that's an interesting choice for the movie to use our hero, if you will, in so many words, to be an absolute piece of shit. But that's the genius of Justin Long. He's super charismatic and funny, absolutely lovable. Again, the casting's really good by throwing the scent off for the audience. You think that Bill Skarsgård's going to be a piece of shit and Justin Long the hero, they kind of swap it. It's great. But that's Justin Long for you. He's a super underrated actor. He can do any role. And I really appreciated the film committed to the bit, committing to him being not a very nice guy, and again, layered, like you discover certain things about him as the film goes on. And of course, Rob Zombie's mate, Richard Brake, pops up to play, you guessed it, an absolute piece of shit. I'm sure Richard Brake is an absolutely lovely guy in real life. I mean, the guy is a workhorse. He's constantly doing films. He pops up in everything, so he must be doing something right and be a top guy. But fortunately for him in his career, he's really good at playing these real piece of shit characters. And the origins of this creature in this film is cemented in all kinds of fucked up. Although it is a movie monster and there's some liberties taken with the look of it and all, it's grounded in something really icky and real life horrific. And we only get a mention of a few things, and we get the point of who the creature is and what it is, and it's stomach-churningly icky. But the creature effects are really good. They're awesome. It looks great and very sweaty. Yes, we do get some gore galore, of course. It's a thriller/horror film. But most of the horror is psychological, if you will. Like I said, a few things are mentioned and whatever, and we just get glimpses and sounds of certain things, and that's where the horror really lies. And, it's icky and, you feel a bit ill. But again, we still get the gore, which is great. The film runs at an hour and 40 minutes, and I swear I was never bored whatsoever. I was fully engaged the whole time. And yeah, when you walk out of the cinema, you feel like you've been through something really tense, unsettling, and super intriguing. Yeah, this is a damn good thriller/horror. I didn't love it. I don't think it's like the best thing I've ever seen, but I thought it was pretty damn good. Especially from a filmmaking standpoint, it was made really well. It balances unsettling, creepy, ickiness, gore galore. Yeah, it's really good. I felt that the film was a bit of a mix of The Descent, The Hills Have Eyes, and Wrong Turn. Yeah, worth a watch for horror fans, absolutely. It does, however, have the potential for a sequel as well, and possibly a future franchise. Because, as I said before, the tunnels run for miles and miles and miles. And the big bad has been active in this dilapidated neighbourhood for about 40 years. But yeah, guys, that's my review of Barbarian. I was very excited to see this movie, hearing a lot of buzz about it. But yeah, write down below if you've seen it. This is kind of a spoiler review, so I bloody well hope you did. And of course, if you've made it this far into the episode, please give me a thumbs up, because your love and support keeps me going, because I just love movies and I assume you do as well. And of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe icon, because we give out episodes weekly, and we'll see you back here next week for the next review, and until then, stay spooky, kids.